Hello everyone, I'm Kibin Alleyne and today is Tuesday, July 16th. You are now watching Open, a program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. Don't forget to stay connected with us via social media at BronxNet TV. Crafted with no hidden ingredients while being 100% vegan, Blissoma offers products designed to rejuvenate the skin. Julie Longyear, herbal chemist and founder of Blissoma Botanical Beauty, joins me to explore the advantages of clean and eco-conscious skincare, as well as the launch of their newest product, the Photonic SPF 30 Mineral Sunscreen and Moisturizer. Julie, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I'm really curious to know what inspired you to explore skincare professionally, especially with the creation of Blissoma Botanical Beauty.
Yeah, so I happen to be someone that has very sensitive and acne-prone skin, and my desire was to not be at such odds with my skin all the time. And I had tried a lot of products that were in the store. I was trying to do well for myself, like I thought I was reading ingredients and thought I was shopping smart, but it turns out there's a lot more to it, unfortunately, especially for people with a lot of sensitivities, than just reading ingredients labels, because the ingredients labels can still hide a lot of information, unfortunately, with the way that the industry is run these days. So I partly started making products for myself so that I could clear my own skin. And then once I had come up with some recipes that really worked for me, I figured there had to be more people out there just like me that were struggling with the same issues and wanted to share the work that I had done. And because there really is no feeling like being basically, like, you think about your skin all the time when it's disrupted, like when you have acne breakouts and rashes or redness, you're constantly thinking about how you look, how you feel. It really affects your social interactions and experience in life. So I love being able to alleviate that for people because it's made a huge difference in my ability to just live peacefully in my own body.
Now, can you elaborate on what areas of skincare Blissoma targets?
So we are mostly a facial care line. We do have a few body care products as well. We really focus on developing recipes in product areas where people often have had trouble finding effective products. So we have products for acne skin types, for rosacea. We have products for people with dryness or other persistent issues or allergies. So we even have products for people with aloe or jojoba allergies, which these are common natural ingredients that show up in a lot of natural skincare products. And you'd be surprised how many people can react even to those seemingly benign ingredients. But we really listen to our customers when finding out what they need and then producing that. We have a few deodorants that are really effective because deodorant is one of those things that often people really struggle with finding something really effective. So my goal is to solve those problems for people really effectively so that they never have to go looking for that same type of product again. And usually those are very difficult formulation challenges, which is why a lot of products have not solved those problems for people. So it does make it an interesting adventure for me as a formulator because I am constantly taking on some of the most difficult work that I could do, but it's worth it.
Now, I definitely want to highlight, if you look up Blissoma, there's a section on the website that talks about the relationship between plants and people. Can you talk a little bit more about that relationship and why that was kind of very significant to highlight in this work?
Yeah. So for me, like looking at the past, we see historically when agriculture was developed, that was really when civilization started to flourish in a more organized form, and plants were crucial for that. So what we do know is that, of course, we need plants for micronutrients and other aspects of our diet, like the fiber is really good for us. We eat a lot of plants, most people anyway, unless they're on like a keto-based diet where they're eating just
Right.
mostly meat. But for humans and plants, we actually have been the agent to distribute seeds throughout the world. So, like oftentimes, with explorers' ships, seeds from plants where they were would be stuck to their boots, and they'd get carried to those new continents. So we would, as humans, we have been helpers for plants in helping them spread to new environments, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, depending on if it's an invasive species. We've cultivated plants so that they flourish and grow if they have benefits for us. And so there's a very mutually symbiotic relationship between plants and humans. We're very different types of organisms, but we need each other in order to really flourish on the planet. They do better in many cases because of us, and we do better because of them.
Now, a huge part of the brand is that it's 100% vegan, eco-conscious, and there are no hidden ingredients. Can you explain why this was important to the growth of Blissoma?
Sure. Being plant-based was an easy decision. We were really wanting to highlight the phytonutrients and healing components in plants. So that, as a core decision to be vegan, was extremely easy because we were plant-focused to begin with anyway. In terms of the cleanliness, the hidden ingredient aspect is a huge one for us. So a lot of the cosmetics industry is able to either or has been able to get away with mislabeling products because they're previously to MOCRA going into effect. There was no regulation really of the cosmetics market in the United States in terms of like third-party oversight of ingredients declarations and things like that. And that's still only beginning to happen, where manufacturers are now required to register products, declare ingredients in a proper format. And so a lot of companies were basically just putting whatever they wanted to on their ingredients list. There's also a loophole that allows for ingredients that carry a preservation ingredient. Then if you put that in the final formula, you don't have to declare the preservation ingredient that was in that original ingredient. So say it has phenoxyethanol or a paraben or whatever in it to preserve it. And herb extracts, unfortunately, are some of the biggest problems with this, because if it's a liquid-based extract, it needs to be preserved somehow before it goes into the final formulation. And so often those preservation ingredients, because of the way the law is written, they don't have to be declared on the final ingredients list, which means that people may read the ingredients list and still they may think it's going to be fine for them because they're not seeing the key compounds that they're trying to avoid, but those could still be carried in there by some of the botanical ingredients. So for us, that's also partly why we started making our own herb extracts in the very beginning, because we saw that that was happening and we knew that this was causing a lot of skin reactions for people, because you can read the ingredients list, use the product, and still have your skin freak out. And it just feels very frustrating when you're spending a lot of money and trying a lot of products to have that continue to happen. So real, transparency and being absolutely sure of what we are putting in our products due to our own manufacturing is a huge part of the Blissoma brand.
And I definitely want to add to that, skincare is very, very expensive, and it could be very frustrating to find out you spent maybe $80 on something and it doesn't work for your skin or possibly made it worse. So thank you so much for pointing that out. It's really important. Now I want to talk about your latest product, which is the sunscreen, Photonic SPF 30 Light Shifting Solution Mineral Sunscreen and Moisturizer. Can you tell me a little bit more about the significance of this product?
Yes, so sunscreen is actually one of the hardest products for people with sensitive skin to find. Regardless of if it is mineral or chemical based, both types of sunscreens can cause big problems for people with sensitive skin, either due to the preservatives used in the formula or due to the carrier ingredients. So oftentimes silicones pop up in many facial sunscreens and body sunscreens, and silicones are actually pretty disruptive to the skin barrier. There's new research coming out showing that they disrupt the skin lipids. They can cause breakouts for people like me who deal with cystic acne. And so sunscreen is an important part of a skincare routine, but for people with sensitivities, it can be really hard to find one because you're kind of choosing between a sunburn, on one hand, if you don't use sunscreen, or you're choosing between breakouts and rashes on another hand. So I've personally, on one particular trip, I forgot to bring something that was right for my skin with me. I used something that seemed okay that I got at a drugstore and spent the next 2 weeks with a rash on my face. So it is really challenging, and then there's just the feel of it. Like lots of times sunscreens have kind of like a greasy or oily feel. You don't like the way that it's slipping around on the skin or creating shine. And so developing something that people would actually not only love to wear because it feels good, but that is safe for all of our customer sensitivities, and then as well provides that sun protection that they're looking for so that they can actually enjoy being outside and don't have to hide and inside or, avoid doing things with friends or exercising during the day, that sort of thing.
And can you quickly just expand on why sunscreen is so important? I know a lot of people kind of view it as like an optional thing. I know sometimes people from my background may feel like we don't need sunscreen, but we're, currently learning that's not the case. So can you just talk about the importance of wearing sunscreen?
Yeah, so I think definitely there is a healthy balance. The sun can have very beneficial effects for you. So especially if you are, getting all the right micronutrients in your diet and only going out during certain times of day, and there's a lot of kind of parameters that you would use to form a healthy sun routine. But in general, you only need like maybe 20 minutes of sun exposure to build up your vitamin D for the day. So beyond that, you really need a sunscreen on your face. And for most people, like 20 minutes might even be just your commute or your walk to work, especially if you're living in the city. Even with buildings and shadows and stuff, you're still going to be taking on a lot of reflected light. And, commuting is going to be your big source of UV exposure for a lot of people. And so, beyond about 20 minutes, you really need to be wearing something that is going to help protect against UV damage because UVA rays and UVB rays both can affect the skin. UVB rays are the burning rays. UVA rays are the aging and cancerous rays, and those actually go deeper into the skin beyond the top layers, and that's how they affect the collagen and elastin structures and create mutations. And so that buildup of damage over time can really cause some problems. A single really potent sunburn during childhood can, drastically increase your chances of skin cancer later in life. So just protecting gradually over the course of time is one of the best things that you can do for your skin health. And then, of course, we also are not only including sunblock ingredients like zinc oxide in this particular recipe, but I also believe it's really important to feed skin with antioxidants, omega fatty acids, all the other phytonutrients that can contribute to skin health so that the skin is better equipped to handle that exposure to the sun, because it's not just about blocking the sun, it's about all of the other effects that come with that UV exposure, because no sunscreen is going to prevent 100% of UV exposure. So providing that skin nutrition can really be crucial to making that beneficial instead of damaging.
Well, Julie, I want to thank you so much for joining us and sharing a little bit about your journey with Blissoma and educating our community.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
To learn more about this product, please go to their website, blissoma.com. Don't go away, we'll be back with more Open right after this.